see where it goes. Highly anticipated draft, which could help decide who becomes inside or who finishes at least top 3.
I wonder if EHOME will first pick Wisp or Bounty Hunter, though. I think that's kind of what I'm feeling out.
Bounty got banned second round last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So far, exactly the same. Oh, okay. So
I was wrong.
they do ban the Wisp. They've had enough.
Will OG bother with the A ban now?
I think EHOME should still first pick AA if it's available and there's no Wisp.
For what reason? Because at this...
Shadow Priest?
Huskar, Undying.
All right.
Does keep him
convince
away.
me. That's all their favorite heroes.
Kevin is sold.
It's not just about the Wisp Tiny.
No.
I think they'll still go Tiny, to be honest.
And they have done that before.
It's a hard decision.
So EHOME let through Wisp instead of the Slardar. Do they give it to Moon immediately? Or are they somewhat fearful of the Abaddon?
They have picks 2 and 3. So I feel like they could pick them up.
Yeah, I definitely would. Considering how Moon has been performing on the Slardar, it's a no-brainer. We all are firm believers of the fact that Slardar is still a very strong hero. Almost on par with the Tusk.
Okay, so it's the first big Tusk. Exactly what they would have expected to get, I guess.
It got a lot of kills. It was really abusive in the early game, in the previous game, but as is per usual, in the later stages of the game, it really peaks off a little bit.
I think it's just 11's best hero, though.
Yeah.
It's even when it's just decent, he still plays that hero at such a high level compared to his other ones, and such a high level in general.
So Slardar Tiny, Slardar
Undying? Do you think they'll pick Undying, Kevin?
I'm not sure. Still thinking about that one.
It's okay, Jacob was still on bans when we were in the 9th draft the other day. 9th part of the draft.
So OG's one of the teams that kind of ignore Doom, don't they?
They do pick it.
Yeah.
And they picked Doom alongside Tusk a number of times.
Yeah, it's not that high priority for them at all.
So where do OG go? For pick 2.
I mean, if they feel comfortable going for something like Night Stalker, for example, they could even not pick their offlane now and let EHOME decide. Like, do they ban Night Stalker, do they ban Slardar? And that leaves an extra cheese pick open.
That's a good point.
It's all about the cheese, man.
The problem for them right now is that if they pick up the Shadow Priest, it's such a no-brainer to just take the AA. Right now, they might be lucky and have EHOME go a different direction.
Do they have to go Dazzle now? Can't they just do it later?
I guess with the Undying already being picked up, it's actually more likely that they're saving Crit's pick. So they may not want this Dazzle at all. Darkseer.
Okay. So they're going in a completely different way here.
Darkseer. Are they banking on the fact that EHOME have got 3 bans left and Meepo and Brood may be 2 of them, and therefore can leave the Slardar till later? Or are they worried that if they...
Yeah.
It won't be a Slardar now.
Picking a Darkseer.
Do you think EHOME will take it now?
Slardar? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so too.
Have they picked Slardar? They picked it 3 times, lost all 3 of them. Which makes me think no. But Darkseer, you talked about how they might want a lot of team fight. Oh, sure.
Okay, we're going to mix things up a little bit.
They have to secure their safe lane since it is Darkseer. It would pressure a lot of carries, so decent in that 1v1. It's pretty good against Undying as well. The Zombie Slayer.
They don't pick Gyrocopter that often though, just because they like that flexibility for CTY, so I still wonder if it's going to be a CTY hero, but Gyrocopter very often banned out versus the Undying because of the Zombie Slayer, Zombie Apocalypse.
Zombie Cannon. You might as well call it Zombie Cannon. It's pretty clear what it's good at.
Zombie Copter.
Yeah. Alright, there's one cheese pick out of the way. The Huskar's still in the pool. So what may result here is that EHOME bans all of the things that OG likes doing the best, but then they still get a really good draft.
So will EHOME though, probably.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, it could end up banning Brood and Husker and still end up
5 seconds remaining.
with a good lineup.
EHOME's turn to
Doom is still in the pool as well.
Yep.
I think, unless OG bans him, I think it's pretty likely that he gets through.
Yeah, I don't think either team really cares that much about him.
Not at this point. The Darkseid is already picked up for Moon Meander. They got the Tusk for 11.
10 seconds
So
remaining.
there's no off-lane role for him to play. It wasn't very successful on the fall role.
Hasn't been ultimately that successful here at Frankfurt either. Sub 50% win rate.
Do we know whether or not OG won the coin flip?
They didn't win Kevin's coin flip.
Yeah, they
That was a double-sided EHOME coin.
I may have prepared my my selection.
Don't give away the Magic TV secrets.
EHOME actually used to like the Winter Wyvern a lot. I'm surprised to see them not prioritize it in this series.
Could be a good call for this draft. One ban left as well.
Do you like Beastmaster for OG? No-Tail plays it a fair amount.
Even Crit plays it.
Yeah, even Crit plays it.
It's not amazing versus Tusk, I feel. The damage is a little bit less bursty. It's more of a setup. So he should have time to get a snowball off, which would disengage the combo. I feel like burst is a little bit better versus Tusk.
The Wyvern goes to OG. That might be a little bit annoying to EHOME, but they immediately pick Bouncy.
So that's probably going to be Flies and Dying, crits, Winter Wyvern. He's got the team fight combo.
Is Bounty Hunter going to be able to be that disruptive this game?
Is it gonna be what?
That disruptive to
It's good versus
OG's early
Wyvern.
game.
Yeah, I think it's good. They have the Tusk again. They want to apply the early game pressure. There's very little gank on OG right now.
Seconds remaining.
EHOME can really dictate the flow of the game and the early game movement.
Okay.
I was actually thinking about Phantom Lancer, but I
Yeah, I
think
don't
that since
blame
they had the gyrocopter, I was like,
I still don't like it that much versus Gyro. It's okay if you're called on hits, but other than that, it's just alright. Against Bounty, kind of the same thing. PL's still good. You'll go through a lot of Diffusal Blade charges to remove track, but it'll combo really well with Iron Shell in the early little team fights.
I mean, AA is still in the pool. I don't see what else would fit EHOME's lineup better than that.
That's shaky.
Zombies and illusions. But it's kind of counteracted by Gyrocopter, because he slays the zombies, right? Makes your Echo Slam worse. I do like PL a lot versus Tusk though. Like Ice Shards essentially becomes irrelevant if you do have Doppelgang up. So considering that's the hero that EHOME consistently first picks, you could argue that it counters their best position.
EHOME's turn to battle.
I actually like the ES more than the AA here. I think they need like a combo breaker, especially with the Darkseer and Winter Wyvern. We didn't really see overwhelming amounts of team fight from OG because they were mostly reliant on the IO Tiny, but with Earthshaker you want to prevent them from like zerging down the Tusk.
Seconds remaining.
Like the Vacuum Wall, Winter's Curse is one of the most powerful team fight combos in the game, and having combo breaker like Earthshaker, I guess we've seen a little bit from like Silencer, but he just has not won much.
It's a good tiny ban coming out from OG here, knowing that Old Chicken has played it a whole lot. It's pretty good at instant killing some of the heroes on OG in the early game. Tanky as well, deals moderately well with the Phantom Lancer in the late game.
So we're looking at a CTY hero, right? Most likely.
No, I think
No, it's an Old Chicken. Probably, I think his Wind Ranger was impressive.
What about? Are you sure it's not going to be like a Leshrac or something?
very unlikely. I would say far more likely it will be what Jacob was talking about, maybe a Bristle, or maybe, what else does he play? TA, I've seen him play a decent amount too, although not that great versus PL.
Okay, they banned the Bristle.
Why are they banning Bristle though?
Brood.
Their damage is.
Oh, they have a Darkseer.
medium.
There's no way.
EHOME's damage is a little
Sorry.
weak, so if they got
There's
a
a-
change guy, they'd be good.
There is a Brood, and there is a Husker still.
No, Huskar's
No,
good.
it's Husker. Actually, you're right. Yeah, it's gone. They're not going to go Brood with that lineup, though, are they?
Nah. I don't see other side going for Brood. That'd be silly. Especially considering both the offlaners already have a designated hero.
Which was the team that ran mid Tusk?
That was
I don't remember.
Vici, I think, wasn't it? No. LGD? I think maybe had one game of mid-tusk.
I don't know if that's an option for them, but the Bristleback is very strange to me.
Well, they have a Darkseer already.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Miracle Viper?
Hasn't been the most effective in the tournament so far.
They don't know what their opponent's mid is going to be, so that's probably one of the things that made it really difficult for OG to grab that hero. Viper's pretty good against most heroes.
I see.
Okay. A little bit more standard for draft number 3. Let's find out who goes to the final game in the lower bracket to face Evil Geniuses. It's OG versus EHOME, game 3.
Everything on the line for these two teams. OG and EHOME have one last chance to continue their run through this tournament. I'm Capitalist, joined by Blitz. Blitz, this game number 3, as Red Eye was kind of saying, a little bit standard, but what are your thoughts on the draft? Who really came out on top here?
I feel like I really like EHOME's draft. I thought that OG would take the Slardar top 2, but maybe they just hadn't played with it in a little bit, and they said, we're a little bit cold. The Darkseer is a little bit better for a setup with the Winter Wyvern. I think that especially is the reason why they decided to take it. And I like that they made that in-game adjustment in their draft to be able to go for that, because they said, okay, we want to be able to play a little bit more of a combo style, free things up. And once again, Miracle is not playing the Shadow Fiend or the Anti-Mage, more of the game-changing role. He's playing more of the lane-dominating hero in the Viper, and this is quite good against the Lina.
But we'll see how it fares. This game number 3 is here. EHOME, they have plenty of team fight of their own, and I'm sure it's going to be a very action-packed game with OG once again leading things the same way they did in game number 2. A 5-man push into the enemy jungle. Not going to find anybody, though. Just going to be setting up some early wards, blocking out the camps. That is the advantage of Dire's side. Radiant pull camp is notoriously hard to counter ward.
Yeah, there's so many different areas that they can place it. And OG, I really like that they're going to go for the 5-man here, even if they're against a gyrocopter. They've got the strength of the Undying. Nobody really wants to fight into that.
Second ward being placed out, so they've got their bases covered when it comes to this pull camp. And OG looks like they're going to be maintaining an aggressive tri-lane of sorts. Moon Meander's going to be left alone in the top lane. He's going to be going up against Old 11's Tusk, which should be a decent matchup for him. It's more curious as where this tri-lane's really going to go, because they do have a Bounty Hunter on the side of EHOME. Not known for his level 1 prowess, that's for sure, but it's still a Gyrocopter Earthshaker, and they can make things happen together in the early stage.
I think with a combination like Phantom Lancer and Winter Wyvern, and with the addition of Fly coming over as the Undying, you can really mess up this tri-lane from EHOME because of the Bounty Hunter. And the Earthshaker doesn't really have any harass potential whatsoever. And so No-Tail should be able to get free farm out of this. And most importantly, they've given their top lane quite an advantage too. It's a Darkseer against another melee hero. And now they've got a Viper against a Lina. Like, all of these lanes can definitely win out for OG. And EHOME, they've got a lot of team fight, but we've seen what happens when teams just end up losing 3 lanes in a row. It becomes too hard to recover the mid game. Then you push it to the late game, but at that point, you're so far behind.
Seems CTY really doesn't want to challenge this lane too much. He goes for the level 1 flat cannon, because immediately, if he starts coming forward, he's going to be the target here of OG. They chase him down with the Lead of the Lance. They do have another one up in a second, but they're going to halt their progression as the 3-man Fisher shuts them down. Cannon ward being laid out. No-Tail actually does find it. Meanwhile, the Snowball comes in at the top lane. Old 11 still being chased down by Moon Meander, but Moon's just going to focus on taking more of this neutral stack.
Yeah, look how good the lanes are going right now for OG.
Just why they're
bottom
going to
lane.
change things up.
You have to.
CTY. He's going to head up to the top lane now. He doesn't have his level 2 rocket barrage yet, so even if they do get a decent hold on Moon Meander, they never would have been able to get the kill.
And they go for the kill anyways, but it doesn't lead to anything. And Moon Meander's gotten enough out of this lane so far. He's almost level 3. You have to send somebody to this bottom lane. This Tusk is quite low in HP and mana. And you might just make a rotation for the mid lane first to try to gank off Miracle, but see how successful that is.
Yeah, Kaka's going to be helping out. They do have, perhaps with the 3 of them, enough power to kill Miracle, who's challenging Old Chicken now. Old Chicken doesn't have much mana, but the turnaround is here. Lonham leads with the Fisher, now the snowball follow-up, and that should be your first blood. Old 11 claims it. Miracle just overextending himself in that mid matchup. Thought he had a better 1v1, but EHOME returned with just so many heroes to this middle lane.
They needed that kill so badly, especially the first blood. Because Old Chicken, it's just going to be a rough lane for him regardless, and this top lane didn't work out for them. And now that the Tusk has to rotate all the way back to bottom, and he hasn't been able to get any of the experience, whereas this Darkseer's just been sitting in lane, if they don't get that kill right there, they essentially waste 2 heroes' times.
Crit pretty far forward here. Ooh, Fisher, a clean whiff there, and Crit still has, of course, that Arctic burn, so the Ice Shards isn't going to mean much. No-Tail earlier was actually using Doppelganger to be able to stall up the incoming creep wave just to be able to get more damage on the tier 1 tower. I think he's hoping to be able to utilize their aggressive position to claim an early net worth lead.
Yeah, things are going to go quite well for them in the laning phase just because the Bounty Hunter, the really smart idea by OG to put this Viper in the mid lane, because it's quite a hard hero to gank. So a lot of the threat of this Bounty Hunter is going to get neutralized, because he can't go top either, Cap. If you try to gank out a Darkseer with just the Bounty Hunter, he's just going to surge away. He should be 100% okay. This bottom lane is way too strong for them to fight into as well. And so it might just, by process of elimination, have to be Miracle that he goes for. But even then, it's going to be quite difficult.
Yeah, right now he's looking for the courier rotation, but that's actually up at the top lane for now. And Miracle is more than willing to wait out the push and hide underneath his tier 1 until Kaka goes away. A 4-minute rune is taken by Fly's Undying. Bounty rune picked up by him. Haste will go over to the Lina. So with soon to be level 6, Lina may actually be able to get a quick kill on Miracle. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, they're going to go on Old 11 once again. He does have Snowball, but doesn't want to be forced to turn around. Gets the stun on the No-Tail now, but they've got another Lance and will be able to finish him off. 1-1 as OG tie up the score.
Great kill by OG. Being able to free out this bottom lane now, and this is just going to kind of force EHOME to make some more rotations in, because that was their off laner. He was level 4. He didn't have too much gold, so the net worth swing isn't going to be that great, but we're already seeing a 500 gold lead for OG just off of the first 5 minutes of the game in the laning phase.
Miracle, he's stuck around in the middle lane a bit too long before in this exact matchup. We'll see if Lonham's actually able to successfully catch out Miracle. Old Chicken, I think he's just waiting on the cue from the Earthshaker for now, but if he does go too deep, he's going to be caught by Fly, who's sitting on the side. Earthshaker warms up the Fisher, but misses it. Miracle actually steps forward, not what Lonham was expecting.
Yeah, that's a rare whiff by Lonham, but already his second of the game. I think even if that connects, they probably don't have the killing potential on a hero like Viper, especially with the only one, with only the level 1 stun by Old Chicken. He doesn't have that ultimate quite yet. Probably should have waited before they revealed themselves, and Miracle's starting to play up a little bit because he's got that Undying behind him, and now Old Chicken's got to be careful.
Yeah, Undying being able to hit his level 3 gets the Soul Rip, and now actually has a response if they do try and go for the Chain Stun on the Viper. Moon Meander's getting so much farm in the top lane though. 33-1, 33-15 though on No-Tail's Phantom Lancer. He's getting utter free farm in the bottom lane as well. OG seem to have things well in hand in the first 6 minutes of this game.
Yeah, their decision to go for the aggro tri-lane is 100% paid off, and usually you'll see Miracle on that game-changing role, but by giving him this Viper, it's a hero that can always trade no matter what mid-hero he's against, and oftentimes dominate.
No ball comes in. Moon, you're not going to get away from this one. They have him trapped with the Ice Shards, and they'll give CTY the kill. Finally, shutting down one of these two side lanes that OG were getting so far ahead in farm it.
huge pickup for EHOME because they need to be able to get kills. They're definitely not going to be able to do it through straight CSing. As we see, they're actually quite far behind when it comes to that category. So kills are going to be how they do it. And they've got a lot of kill potential. Gyrocopter is still one of the best heroes in the game from that level 5 to level 7 range at being able to pick heroes off.
They don't have any vision, so Kaka can sit underneath this tier 1 tower and claim experience as it comes. No-Tail, though, still trying to put pressure on that tower, picks up the early ring of the kill and is now going to be joined by Moonmeander, making this tower push even easier. Moon's going to cut the creep wave and does have dust to reveal Kaka, so it's going to be a pick-off as well.
Stayed there for just a little bit too long.
Tower is under attack.
Good game sense by OG. And that's a pretty big pickup because he was just leeching XP down there. You can't just let him get 4 waves of experience in a row without anything. They're going to go for the mid kill.
Oh, Miracle, he stays one step ahead of Old Chicken, who had the Laguna Blade ready to go, but now No-Tail's going to make the turnaround. He gets the Lance. And Kaka, as well as the Gyrocopter, come in, but they're not going to be able to form a real good response unless Miracle dips a bit too far forward. We'll see. Old 11's ready to go with the Snowball and Ice Shards. Now they lead with the Fissure. Oh, Miracle gets pushed out, and the Shuriken. It's not enough. He gets left with 120 HP, but if he's blocked out by the Shards, CTY would have been there to clean up the kill.
Really good rotations in by OG. A little bit sloppy for EHOME. They decided to go for the Viper because once again, that's how they're going to catch up by trying to go for those kills, but the Lina ultimate range isn't that huge. You had to be a little bit more careful than that because the positioning just wasn't quite there. They're going to use the call down for this. It's not going to net them anything though.
Meanwhile, Kaka's watching Moonmeander farm his jungle, but he can't do anything to stop it. This Moon, if he has the sense, Old Chicken and Old 11, the 2 old boys are coming in from the side. It looks like they really want to get a pick off here. They're going to start pinging out Moonmeander.
Under attack.
Old 11 will have to lead with a Snowball. Kaka starts baiting himself a little bit. Moonmeander is going to be the target. They get hit by the Fissure. Goes for the Ice Shard, blocking out Moonmeander completely, and they will be able to get that 1 kill. Old 11, though, is left in an awkward position. No-Tail, he's thinking about going for it. He has a Lance up in a second. Old 11, hit by the Lance, needs a bit more damage, puts himself in the trees. No-Tail, he's thinking about going for that right click, but there's too many heroes from EHOME sitting on the side. Another Lance, and that'll finish him off. No one from EHOME wanted to walk through that wall again, and that allows No-Tail to pick up the turnaround kill.
That was a little bit odd though. Their trepidation of walking through the wall, that's only a level 1 wall. Nobody was near there. They actually had to walk through the tower just to kind of get to No-Tail's positioning, and it kind of felt like they abandoned their Tusk a little bit.
Maybe they were afraid of spawning illusions that would kill the Tusk in return, but
I mean, that was a
seemed like
guaranteed
that was gonna
death.
happen. Ultimate goes down, Gyrocopter. He's going to threaten Moonmeander a little bit. Miracle, fortunately, the slow does hit him. It's the second one, so it's very slow Viper now. CTY actually making the turnaround, wants to go for Moon, but now he's going to be slowed up by the Viper Strike. Luckily, he's got Old 11 sitting on the side. The Ice Shard misses, but maybe the Snowball up and connects and has the follow-up. No! Krika responds. Cold Embrace will save Moonmeander and provide Old 11 with nothing to munch his teeth on.
Great rotations by OG. And I really like how they chased out CTY. If he had gone for the TP, Moon was going to be there for the vacuum. They set that up perfectly. But the Tusk is going to be the one that dies for EHOME. And unfortunately for them, their Lina is quite underfarmed right now. Doesn't even have the Yule Scepter. It's 11 minutes in. Isn't all the way there. And No-Tail is 3-0-1 with 60 CS as this position 1 Phantom Lancer.
An insane amount of farm, and you have to wonder, when is EHOME actually going to be able to come online with their lineup? They've got this very 15 to 25 minute where they have so much firepower during that period of time, but OG, if they have enough of a net worth advantage, they don't even need to fight EHOME. Even when it comes to objectives, they can just rely on the late game of the Phantom Lancer.
And that is a hero that they have a lot of options though. They've got the Earthshaker Echo Slam, the Gyrocopter Call Down and Flak, the Lina's AoE abilities too.
True.
But it's more the fact that once all 3 cores get online like they have so far, when it comes to CS, OG are going to be quite strong in the mid game.
Miracle, is that his mech flying in? Yeah. Sure is. The 2-man smoke from EHOME is going to be a bit too late, even if they do catch the Viper while he's farming. That That mech actually may provide enough of a turnaround that no one from OG dies. We'll see what happens. Crit does have his Winter's Curse as well. They're going to go for a two-man smoke of their own. And EHOME, they did spot it out.
Yeah, this is going to be a really critical fight for them. They can't afford to lose this mid tower or either of these heroes. Their cores are already slowed down enough. Kaka does have the track. This could be a really nice turnaround.
A little bit. They have the Fisher laid out. Winter's Curse on Old Chicken, but the snowball comes in through from behind. They're going to take up fly first. Now the Gyrocopter ultimate hits on 3. Old Chicken, though, gets taken out by No-Tail, but CTY here to make clean up an L2, but it's got a TP away. No-Tail's just 2 down. Power, but he can't even out. He makes the TP away, but it doesn't complete, and now they're going to be able to get Kaka as well. Chased down by zombies. Miracle hoping to be able to catch up as well, but OG, they're not going to continue their pursuit. Not worth it. They got 2 very critical kills. The mid of EHOME as well as the carry CTY. And they're still in a good position to put pressure on this tower.
If OG hadn't gone in right at that moment, the Lina could have been a much bigger factor in that fight. And maybe EHOME turns that fight around even more. But they were so quick with their assault. OG realized, okay, we've just got to go for it. Kill the Lina. She does a disproportionate amount of damage to her HP right now. Only 815 for her. Miracle easily mopped her up.
No-Tail's got 1,800 gold in the bank right now, so if he wants that early defusal, he'll have it soon. Moon, meanwhile, will have the mech. What? We've got potentially 2 mechs. All right, so what does Moon Meander go from here? Vlad's in a regular old buckler? Bit of miscommunication from OG, it seems.
This is most likely going to be a pipe.
Yeah.
But they definitely didn't sync up on this. The Darkseer's probably just so used to getting the mech.
Yeah.
Because the Viper mid is still kind of rare. And it's hard to blame anybody here, because maybe it was the Viper's decision, and he should have been the one going for the stat items in this kind of game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen plenty of Vipers in this exact situation where you have a hero that goes the mech as well. He'll pick up S and Y and go more of a right-click stat build.
Call down's going to get whiffed, but it's just meant to zone.
But OG know with that call down on CD, they can actually push into the jungle if they really want to, or maybe go for a mid lane fight. And call down has proven to be pretty critical for EHOME, and they'll just be run over if they don't have that big AoE control.
Yeah, without it available, I think this is quite a dangerous fight. And when you've only got one core that you have to worry about, which is most likely the Lina, you can just Winter's Curse her up, and the Gyrocopter doesn't do quite enough yet. So OG can kind of just ignore him once the call down misses. And when it comes to net worth, No-Tail's still firmly in the lead. The Viper is just behind him. The Gyrocopter's trying to catch up, but the Lina's so far behind right now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, speaking of mechs, Old 11, he's got to be going a mech of his own to try and counteract the 2 different potential mechs on OG. He's already got the Arcane Boots headdress coming in. He'll look for the Guardian Crease eventually, but Mood Meander, I'm sure, is just going to try and finish up that Glimmer Cape. He's only 200 gold away from it, and that'll be a big boost to survivability as EHOME have so much magic damage.
He's just farming up the jungle, well aware that that small blunder has happened. Doesn't seem too concerned about it though. He's not really the focus of their lineup anyways, so I doubt it matters too much to him.
At what point do EHOME start pushing for objectives? I mean, it's only 15 minutes in, so there's not too much of a rush.
I think it's kind of impossible to go for objectives at top.
Moon, he managed to dodge the ice shards. He's still going to be hit by the Walrus Punch, but it's not enough damage. And Old 11, he's underneath the tier 2 tower. They know he's going to be dead. That's why Crit is going to look for more. He managed to get the Winter's Curse on Akaka with the counter ward, and the Lance coming out. They'll finish it off with a double kill for No-Tail.
And time again, EHOME's just getting frustrated at this point.
Is under attack.
OG willing to back up all of their heroes. EHOME, if you just look at their vision, every single time a hero pops up like that, they must just be saying to themselves, are they just sitting behind their cores? What's going on?
Is under attack.
And this has got to be so frustrating for them, because that should have just been a quick pick off. That was a track kill. Maybe they even get out of that, but even if it's just 1-1, it's okay.
OG are making sure to protect this No-Tail. will be able to get away. No-Tail's pretty much the only hero that can push out a lane solo just because he's got that doppelganger. Everyone else, it seems, is being protected. They don't want to give away any free track kills to EHOME.
Oh, No-Tail, he doesn't have that doppelganger.
No-Tail, he's got the Echo Slam. Is it going to be enough damage? Shuriken, he still has doppelganger up. One more second. He's stuck inside the trees.
Oh, he's going to
jump over, but Lanham, he's one step ahead of No-Tail. He just needs to know which one is real.
Oh, he
misses that one. No-Tail, he's making some distance away. Miracle's going to come in. He doesn't have that. 30 seconds until that one's up. No-Tail, he's getting to the neutrals. Lanham's control. They turn on Miracle, but he managed to get the kill. CTY, he claims both of them though. Bounty Hunter, he ends that dominating streak of the Viper, and EHOME do finally pick up some critical kills. Maybe they just should have let No-Tail die. Bottom lane, Crit, he's up next. Old 11, he's searching for that one, but Moon Meander is going to be able to come in. That's why Crit isn't afraid to fight.
They're just going to disengage. If there was a mech available from the Viper, they easily could have turned that around. Unfortunately, it was on cooldown for another 10 seconds. And what a big pickoff, because now the Gyrocopter is in the lead when it comes to net worth. That was a 2,000 gold swing the other way. That's just how much a track can do for you.
OG, we're playing so carefully around that track, but one misstep may have just cost them their early lead. Because if they'd just been able to finish up the pipe, I can't see how EHOME would actually be able to take 5-on-5 team fights without strong initiation, and that's something that they're kind of lacking, as Lanham isn't real close to the Blink Dagger yet.
Old Chicken does have that Yule Scepter. He's got the Arcane Boots, which could mean that he just decides to go for the Bloodstone. It's a really safe build that is based more around farming and trying to progress your items. When you go for the Aghanim Scepter, a lot of people think that that's the natural buildup, but you don't necessarily have to go for it immediately, especially if there's no BKB heroes on the other team. It would be pretty good for the Viper, but aside from that, the pure damage isn't as necessary.
Yeah.
Whereas continuing to farm and scale up really helps out Alina.
So maybe a little bit of recognition that OG will be able to push this game late, and EHOME are going to have to contend with that.
Yeah, this bottom tier 1 tower, I think this is a tower that OG doesn't want to just give up for free. Moon Meander's rotating down. Old Chicken is going to be the frontliner. Without a glyph available though, no real choice.
They have the high pipe now for the Darkseer.
Yeah, I think that was the right call.
Yeah.
There's a lot of magic damage on EHOME.
And that'll be Crit's opportunity to get the Climber Cape instead. Diffusal is almost complete though for No-Tail. And everyone should know what a big upgrade that is for a Phantom Lancer. Huge increase in damage.
They do have a lot of ways to deal with them though, Cap. There's a lot of AoE on the side of EHOME.
They just need to finish up that Blink Dagger on Lanham, and I think they'll have the Phantom Lancer well addressed for at least 10 to 15 minutes. It's only until he starts bulking up on HP that he'll be a bit more of a factor again.
Yeah, they're really prioritizing Lanham's farm right now. They really want to make sure that he can get the Blink Dagger before the next major engagement, and he's quite close.
Ice Shard setting up more CS for Lanham. While at the top lane, CTY is going to be caught. Crit does have the Winter's Curse. The rest of OG start filing in. CTY, he's not going to be able to turn this one, not especially with No-Tail on the hunt. And that'll be another kill going to OG. 7-11 now, 20 minutes in. In EHOME, they just picked up that SNY on Gyrocopter, and they were looking pretty decent for some team fights. But if they continue to allow pickoffs like that, OG will never open a spot for EHOME to force fights.
I think it's okay right now though for EHOME. They still have the track. They're not so far behind, and Delina's actually done a fantastic job of catching up. Old Chicken was quite far behind the Viper, but after that tower at bottom, a few engagements, she's done a good job, and it is going to be the Bloodstone build for her as expected. And you really don't want to give up this mid tower, especially after losing the bottom one for free. This is going to be a lot of the map control if they lose this.
Dragon Slave, they really don't want to give up the tier 1 tower. Old Chicken starts with the spam, but the tower's going to go down anyway. The pipe gets laid out, and now this is definitely not a fight that EHOME can afford to take. The snowball to help prevent some of that Viper Strike damage, and he will move forward. The Fisher gets laid out, but nice shot there from the Splinter Blast. Echo Slam, but it's all death for Lanham as he's unable to provide any turnaround kill. OG, they don't even have a dent in them. All their cores are looking healthy, and they're going to be able to catch CTY now with the Lance slowing him down. Viper following it up, he's low on mana, but it doesn't seem to matter as No-Tail just swarms into CTY. Lana provides a little escape. He gets over to the cliff, and No-Tail can't complete the kill.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That was a buyback expended by Lanem, but obviously it pays off immediately. The fact that they were able to keep their gyrocopter alive, this is going to slow down the momentum a little bit, and most importantly, it keeps them well within the CS race. The unfortunate news for them, though, is that the pipe, in conjunction with the mech, just seems a little bit too strong for EHOME to fight into. Even if it was an accident at first, it's definitely paid off already. They just don't want to fight into that magic resistance.
OG item-wise, let's see now, Arcane Boots for Fly. They're going to have the completed S and Y in the Viper. And Darkseer, what, probably picks up the normal Blink Dagger from here. I mean, he still can set up the Winter's Curse.
Yeah, I think so. You just need more initiation if you're on the side of OG. You're completely comfortable taking fights right now. Whereas EHOME want to split up the map a little bit, continue to farm. Lanham, even if he uses buyback, he's still kind of close to that Blink Dagger. And this is what you want to do. You notice that old 11 at top, he's just started to push it out. Even if he dies right here, he doesn't really care. Because as soon as they show themselves, Old Chicken, look at him at bottom. He's just going to wait for him to die.
Yeah.
This is one of those weird space-creating deaths that look kind of bad on paper, but you're giving up a lot of vision right now. This is 5 heroes that were committed for this kill.
They immediately start rotating into the middle lane because they don't want to give up an objective, knowing that EHOME have found some space for themselves. But if they go middle, CTY is free to push out the bottom lane, as you said. So still to pick off that will allow them to take it to your 1 tower. And another kill for No-Tail to be a part of. He is almost level 16 now.
It's such a weird concept, space creation deaths. Because you know that the Darkseer, or not the Darkseer, but the Tusk is completely comfortable dying in that situation. Because look how much space that built up. They didn't even lose the tier 1 tower at top. They were able to farm up 2 different waves plus the neutrals for a little bit. And all it cost them was a Tusk. And they weren't going to fight that anyways. Like, there's no way for them to fight that. They need the Blink Dagger on Lanham for them to be able to do that.
Lanham almost getting caught here. Crit trying to get in range. Not quite there. Fortunately, Lanham, he had that ward in the jungle. Actually gave him enough vision to see it coming.
Yeah, now the Darkseer, he's going to split the other half of his item instead of wasting it. And he's going to go for the Crimson Guard. So this is a full utility Darkseer that we're going to see. And I think it's pretty good against the Gyrocopter and the Lina.
Yeah.
They don't do too much damage quite yet.
Full tank mode. It's very odd to see a Darkseer that doesn't have the Blink Dagger when you have that decent amount of AoE with the Winter Wyvern's Curse and even the Undying to follow it up. But if they could just tank through EHOME and every single bit of burst they have to throw at OG, it's not going to mean much, especially the Crimson Guard with this Phantom Lancer. Every bit of HP they have on him is going to mean so much, but Lanham has the most critical item perhaps of the whole entire game. They have the Blink Dagger ready to go. They just need to utilize it right now and find an opening before OG get a bit too big. In fact, they're trying to take Roshan right now. Aegis perhaps at their dispense.
This is definitely the right maneuver for OG. The type of lineup that they have isn't 100% geared towards being able to get pickoffs. If you look at OG's lineup, there's nothing that can immediately blink in, catch somebody off guard. Oftentimes what they're waiting for is for crit to be able to get the Winter's Curse off to start fights. So they want to just force the issue as fast as they can. He's going to catch Old Chicken.
Yeah, crit goes ahead. Winter's Curse, Old Chicken. All he can really do is commit Bloodstone Suicide, it seems. Putting that on cooldown for another 300 seconds.
Yeah, there is absolutely no way out for him. Crit has the Tranquil Boots fast enough to catch up at that point. And with 1 point of the Arctic Burn hit, it was enough to catch Lina. But OG, they want to start getting aggressive. Once they push out this top, there's no reason for them to give up any free damage on their tower or allow for a split push opportunity from EHOME.
Kaka has only been a part of 5 kills, this Bounty Hunter. Not working out so far for EHOME, but if EHOME managed to make a decent hold the next time OG try and go for a push, it could be the comeback mechanism that EHOME desperately needs at this point, because it's 26 minutes in, 8-14, And a decent gold and experience lead for OG, but it's their lineup that is more concerning. At 26 minutes, looking plenty healthy. Old 11 runs into Miracle. Walrus punches him up. Is going to try and make a TP out, but he does have the help of Old Chicken and Lottom. TP's away as they get the quick kill on the Undying.
Unfortunately for them, there was no track to be had, but still a 1-for-0 pickoff is going to set things back a little bit for OG. And if you're EHOME, just continue to farm as much as you can, split up the map, farm it out, and look for these individual pickoffs just to slow down OG's overall assault. I think this is completely the right game plan going into a team that relies so heavily on being able to get into team fights. You notice that even Kaka playing the Bounty Hunter has gotten into the mix with just right-clicking creeps, pushing things out and farming.
Yeah, he sees the space, and no one else is going to farm it because CTY is going through an ancient stack right now. In fact, he's really close to a big-ticket item. It feels like he needs some damage, but instead he's going to go BKB. I'm a big concern that this Phantom Lancer is going to get too big for him to wipe out those illusions in one flat cannon.
First tier 2, or the last tier 1 to stand at top is going to fall, and
CTY,
he's quite low.
He's trying to get the BKB, he gets it, but he'll die in the process.
Oh, he's just going to die anyways.
But that's a 10-second charge down, and now the little Huntling flies away. As OG starts swarming in, they see blood. They're going to be able to find the rest of
They've got
EHOME.
vision for this.
Blinks himself away, does lay out the Fisher, but it's not going to be enough. They catch both Lottom as well as Old Chicken. That's just not 1 kill, but it looks like it's going to be 3. No Tail going into the base, TP out, not successful for the Lina.
And this is all set up by that pickoff at the Ancients of CTY. Kaka's going to go for the split push, but this is only a Bounty Hunter. I doubt that OG are worried about this at all. They're going to go for this tier 2. They should be able to take this without any sort of contention. And with the Earthshaker down, they've seen the Blink Dagger. They know that he's still dead for 30 seconds. Just go for the high ground. There's not enough pressure on the side lanes, and not a whole lot of EOE from EHOME to stop this high ground assault either.
This is earlier than OG probably expected, but a happy pickoff leads into 3, and now they're going to be able to take down this tier 3 tower, it looks like, before EHOME revive, and they still have the Aegis to be able to fight around. So if they want to continue, they're more than welcome to. They've got a mech, Pipe and Crimson Guard on cooldown for a little while. BKB now for Miracle. Doesn't have it as an inventory just yet. The melee Rax is going to go down before EHOME can force the fight. And OG seemingly going to back away, happy and content with the pickoffs that they've gotten so far. It seems like a pretty easy-going game for them.
I think
we'll see whether or
pretty...
not EHOME are able to strike back yet.
Yeah, OG are definitely going to be sated after that. They were able to pick up a Rax and multiple kills on top of that for pretty much free. They didn't even have to expend the Aegis for that one, although it is going to fall on just a short minute, so it doesn't matter too much. But still, this is the kind of opening that they were looking for, because EHOME, you've got some wave clear on your team, but you don't want to just leave one of your 2 core heroes in that mid lane constantly pushing out super creeps. You want them to be able to go for the split push, and they were just caught grouping up, so that was an easy decision for EHOME to make.
EHOME, they do have a smoke on Kaka if they want to try and push things out soon, but they probably need to wait out the Aegis. Perhaps a bit too dangerous to go for a pickoff like Miracle. He doesn't really care, he's still got the BKB.
Everybody from OG is rotating in. You've got to disengage if you're EHOME right now. I doubt this fight gets any easier, and the Aegis is just about to fade. Might as well wait that one out, but Manta Style is now completed on the Phantom Lancer, and this is going to make the high ground attempts even easier, coupled with the BKB on the Viper.
CTY is so scared. He just throws out the ultimate in that bottom lane push because he doesn't know if too many members of OG are going to smoke up and gank him. Sure enough, they do go for a 4-man smoke, start rotating bottom lane. So CTY, a bit ahead of his time, is able to get away before OG even attempt the gank, and now it's perhaps EHOME's turn to respond. OG Gonna be running into EHOME here. The 5-man stack. Kratos gonna be leading the way. Gets the Winter's Curse on Lottom, who also catches CTY. That's big. They're gonna almost kill Lottom based off of that severely. CTY's now gonna get off the BKB.
He's completely trapped by himself.
He's got nothing able to do. CTY's being surrounded. Old 11, Old Chicken. The oldies can't do anything about this one. CTY, he gets a bit of distance, but the BKB now runs out. He just gets controlled up. Now the vacuum on it too. Brings Old Chicken back down. That's gonna be a wipe. The snowball delays it all, but EHOME, they lose a fight right in front of their base. And how do they possibly recover from that?
And they don't have any tier 2s taken out, but they might just decide to assault the tier 4s. 3 buybacks are immediately going to be forced out, but Still, everybody from OG is still in fighting shape. Nobody's taking damage due to the Crimson Guard, the pipe, and the mech. There's not a whole lot of ways for EHOME to enter that fight. And something I do want to highlight is just the positioning of the two supports on OG. Every single time crit. He was able to catch out Lanem with that Winter's Curse, made the turnaround Echo Slam impossible. And Fly's positioning with the Tombstone is in such a way that either EHOME have to kill it on their way out, in which case OG kind of just swarm on top of them, or they leave it alone and they're being hit by 4 zombies. Those are the kind of decisions you want to force out as an Undying. They don't get any additional buildings, but a full team might and 3 forced buybacks means that the next fight, OG can potentially just end the game.
A stage 3 Phantom Lancer now. He had the Diffuser Blade, the big upgrade in damage, of course the Manta, more illusions, more split pushing. But it's going to be the Scotty, the big upgrade in HP. It's going to make EHOME feel a little sick to their stomach as soon as they see it. He's just going to be damn near impossible to kill with all this backup. Not only just 2200 HP, but the pipe, that Crimson Guard, the mech, everything else. They can't even get a tier 1 tower. OG. Oh, they're actually going to try and fight this one a little bit more. They have the Surge on a Miracle. Not able to catch up to anyone, though. He just chases them all back. And EHOME just being corralled inside their base. OG at their leisure can go for these tier 2 towers in the side lanes and open up a second lane of racks.
EHOME, last hope for China. They're desperately trying to stick together. They don't want to get isolated out. They're going to go for the smoke. But this is a bit of a YOLO maneuver. As if this doesn't pay off, the game could very well just end. All their buybacks are still on cooldown. They're making their way around the Roche pit, but everybody from OG are ready. They've even got the high ground.
OG so disciplined to jump in. Nice doppelganger away from No Tail. Dodges the attempted gank. EHOME, they're now going to try and scramble out of here, but Crit, he's going to meet right up with Old 11. Gets the Winter's Curse onto 2. Wall over the top. They are gone. And EHOME, they may even lose more. No Tail's going to find Old Chicken to TP out. Easy. But OG, with 2 kills and a wave pushing in through the bottom lane, they'll take it to tier 2. They'll push uphill. And if they're not met with any buybacks, they can easily just take another lane of racks.
All you have to do is play discipline from here on out for OG. They can smell blood. They know that their core that was meant to come online so much later is already so strong at this point. As long as you don't overextend, OG is going to secure themselves a top 3 place.
Miracle leading with the Fisher here. Old Chicken's damage though.
He's way too
Such a
tanky for this.
and he doesn't even have an Aghanim, so it's not even like the Laguna Blade would come close to threatening Miracle at this point. And he's just healed right back up to full as the tier 3 tower now falls.
And with everybody coming back alive, you just run around, go for the Roshan. There's no fake back for this one.
As you said, just play it as disciplined as possible, and OG are going to do exactly that. They are moments away from a guaranteed top 3. Time for them to challenge EG in that lower bracket finals, but first they're going to go for that Roshan. Make sure they have every advantage they possibly can before they go for that second lane of racks.
Yeah, there's no reason to risk it in a game like this. Not when you're about to take out EHOME. EHOME, they've got to expose racks. They're going to go for the smoke. They understand that going for the high ground defense against a team with a pipe, a Crimson Guard, and a mech just isn't possible, especially with the Phantom Lancer this farm. But this is going to be a last-ditch effort.
And they're not even going to be able to get the Roshan in time. Moonmeander sitting on the front lines too, ready to pop that incoming smoke. And EHOME are left just ineffective as another Aegis goes the way of OG. Miracle once again going to get the Surge, seeing if he can catch anybody, but EHOME, they're running out of opportunities now.
This is such a rough position for them to be in. They wanted to fight before the Aegis popped. Just because of how farmed the Phantom Lancer already is, taking him out twice is quite the feat. They don't have the Aghanim Scepter completed on the Lina either, so the damage just isn't quite there for them yet. The Phantom Lancer even picking up a Blink Dagger, so they have a better way to initiate as well. Get on top of them. The final assault coming in from OG.
It's the impossible hold for EHOME as they are down over 20,000, almost 25,000 gold, and OG, they have the extra life. They're gonna go for Miracle, trying to blow him up first. They bring him pretty low, but it's not quite enough.
He's got the Mecha still.
Turn around. He's got it on CTY. Miracle turns. He fights. He's got the mech. He doesn't care if he goes down. He's creating space for no tail. He's already taken out the Earthshaker. He'll turn around on Old Chicken as well. 2 down. Go for a third. And EHOME, they call it. That's all over. OG guaranteed top 3 and their chance to take on Evil Geniuses in the lower bracket finals.
They couldn't go big, so they're going home as EHOME get eliminated. They're going to end 4th. A great showing by them, but OG, they keep their run alive. Fantastic play by them in every single lane.
And the crowd hyped as all hell as OG make it a top 3 Western teams here at the first major.